Let's roll.
Hey everybody, welcome back to X's for Show, your premier media response show. It's Sunday, we're doing Drag Race, there's a finale, there's a winner. We're all winners, you're all winners, but let's talk about it. NICO action, NICO-ACTION.
Coming to you from this square once again, I am Jonah. You can call me places at Peak Jonah.
I'm TK. You can find me at TK Accidental.
Holding down the lower squares, that's Tori, at SM Tori with an I.
And I'm your producer, KEVO, really, holding out in the Losers Lounge here with TK. I've got a little bit of X's for Show playing in mind, reminding us of earlier days when we were just ranking these queens. It feels like so many moons ago that this season started, and now we're finally here at the end. It feels like we're ranking 4 seasons from this summer all at once. But we have a queen. We have her now.
Yay!
Yeah. I'm gonna just start with, I didn't love this finale, but I love the winner. Maybe not of this season, but I love the winner. Yeah, you know, it's sort of like I have ever enjoyed a blizzard, but I don't want one. I really love the winner, but God, Bosco was robbed.
You know, this was 10 years in the making. As someone who started this entire franchise with season 7 and was rooting for Ginger on season 7 to see her fully come around to get her crown, I am more than thrilled. I just feel so bad for certain queens because I think you could see it on Georgis's face, you could see it on Bosco's face, of people who really wanted to win. And it is a little crushing to see people who like so desperately want something and you want to root for them that it just becomes hard to watch them not get that. But I feel so, I don't know, elated that Ginger finally has a crown. Ginger is somebody who in my personal opinion, has been a winner from the show ever since. And this is just almost in a way a formality.
I also just want to say, I just found out that blizzards can't be called ice cream technically because they have less than 10% milk fat. So Dairy Queen blizzards, not ice cream, just frozen treat.
Blizzard.
That's why that's that. I just discovered this. But speaking of people who have low qualities of milk fat, we were talking a little bit backstage about how I almost wonder if Ginger getting her crown now is because she is an appropriate size for a winner. And like, I wonder how much Ginger's journey of personal discovery and body redefinition is a part of her victory.
Yeah, I sort of brought this up because I am the first person to be like, it's weird that we haven't crowned a bigger girl yet in the US. And I still firmly believe that, I mean, as a size 16 lady myself, Ginger Minj is currently what we would call a mid-size queen out in the fashion world. And so we aren't even still saying that RuPaul has crowned a plus size queen. I wouldn't even call Lawrence Chaney really plus size if we're being honest. But I think there is something to be said that RuPaul is still living in that supermodel of the world like vision of what she wants to bring to be America's next top superstar. If this is all being told through the lens of RuPaul, then we have to understand that RuPaul is going to prefer a body type that she finds aesthetically pleasing. And currently the aesthetically pleasing body type that RuPaul has is a smaller, slimmer version. And I think that Ginger's amazing weight loss journey could have definitely made it so that RuPaul was willing to look past something in order to allow for beyond the amazing talent, uniqueness, nerve, charisma that we are used to seeing from Ginger Minj, who actually killed this whole thing. And I mean, even if you want to say that production was weighing things for her, I'm sorry, but she still had to go through 3 rounds and make it through the lip sync against some killer lip sync artists. So,
And I don't feel she did great on a bunch of those lip syncs, but we'll talk about that in a second. I want to return to your original point, which is, Alaska and Willem were talking about this on their podcast, just how much RuPaul sees it as a spiritual thing, like a spiritual good that you have lost weight. And I, in a not good way, like,
Yeah.
I think she sees it as a really bad, being fat is a really bad thing that you should love yourself through, but you should be trying to fix. And I think she loves to, when somebody does lose a lot of weight, praise them in a way that really is like, now you figured out the real truth, that is that everybody should lose weight until they are a size that I feel is a good size. Right. And there is a level of, she doesn't really want you, she doesn't want you to be okay with your body if it's a certain way.
Well, if it's a storyline, she absolutely doesn't want you to be happy with your body.
Right, exactly. And I mean, she has things about her own body that I think she doesn't want to be happy with. I think that's why she gets a certain level of cosmetic surgery, and I think that's a totally good thing to do. But I think the way we see her talk about it is very much like, you have thrown off the shackles that have bound you, and now you will be given your reward. And I don't know that everybody always sees being plus sized or being whatever body type they are as a kind of shackle. And so we just get to this kind of awkward point, and it was especially awkward this season because of the fact that we did the unremarked time jump, and the only remark of the time jump was the fact that it takes that long for Ozempic to work. So we knew there was a time jump, and then RuPaul comes in, and just the way she relates to Thinner Mistress and Thinner Ginger is wild, a little bit insulting. I mean, it also is great. They did accomplish something. Like, it's such a weird edge to walk. It's only that, like, I think all of us just want everybody to be happy. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that's quite what Ru wants. She's good if you're happy, but there's some other stuff she would like as well. And leading that all the way to, I was really trying to reflect on if Ginger could and should have won All-Star 6.
We were just having that conversation.
Yeah, and I kind of do, like, upon reflection. I mean, like, I love Kylie. That season felt like it felt generally like it was kind of anybody's game. But I certainly could have seen Ginger going all the way there. And so, I don't know. It was just, there was a lot of just very, very odd stuff going on.
Yeah. I was walking us to this screen cap on purpose because this moment really jumped out at me of Kerri seeing Ginger again and basically saying, "Oh, you're like a different person," because it felt like it was something that was pushed every single episode. It was part of Mistress's talent that all of these girls had gone on this cosmetic and weight loss journey. So it's hard for it not to be part of the conversation when they made it such a huge part of the conversation. And it has nothing to do with us loving Ginger less by any means, of course. But it's a trend with Ru that we can't help noticing, like train flags, where we just want to be like, hey, what's going on?
And I also want to talk a little bit about something we're all pointing to. TK, you alluded to All-Star 6, and one of the things about All-Star 6 is that we needed trans representation and trans respect on this show.
Yeah.
And, Kylie did a great job and was rewarded, even if it didn't necessarily feel like that was her winner's season. It was a season that she did win, and she did the winner's work. And then that means that, like, Ginger didn't get her crown then, and so Ginger gets her crown now. And I sort of feel like All-Stars 10 and Global 1 were just like, oh my god, the world's greatest game of all time. Yes, guys, I just want to be clear. I should be clear. This game is the Citizen Kane of mobile games, and
Why is there Black Trixie Mattel?
because she did the RuPaul impression, so RuPaul gets to do a Trixie and Mattel impression
with a parasite dog. Sure.
This is the greatest video game of all time. It is on par with Halo, and
not sponsored. Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
No, sponsor us.
But
start sponsoring us.
We are not currently sponsored. I just want to make sure that's clear.
But we would take the money.
That's sponsored, but willing.
But
can you play it without internet?
I've never even opened it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're all we're making a joke. Okay.
Oh yeah. So Irene, I love you. So the thing for me is like, this did not feel like Global 1, All Stars 10. This is All Stars 10. This should have felt like something special. When the Olympics celebrated their 100th, they went to Hotlanta and they invented Izzy. So like, it's time to do the thing, and this did not feel like an anniversary season.
Drag Race has never been good at anniversaries.
Well,
that's really fascinating.
That says a lot about Rue and Michelle's relationship.
Yeah.
That was actually why I grabbed these screen caps, because that was something I found so funny in this moment, where they do a screen wipe directly into the same exact moment, and they're just getting ready to go on in 5 minutes. They everything about it felt so unceremonious. I completely agree. I would have liked to see all of the rest of the girls come back as the audience, maybe, because I feel like they disappeared after their bracket, and then that's kind of sad. We never got a real goodbye with them. So that would have been cool if they came back for the finale.
If they came back for the finale, if we had, I'm trying to think, and I think we're in good standing with all of the previous All-Stars winners. Like, we could have had
do
10 of them show up.
Yeah, yep.
I don't know why we chose this. I don't know. It's interesting. I'll be interesting to see if they make any changes, if we're going to stick to this way of doing things for the next one, or if we move on to a different thing. I hope that if we do choose this again, that we make some slight adjustments. But I think this was, if we were going to do the brackets and they were going to take up 9 of the 12 episodes, I think this wanted to be a 15 episode. I think a lot of our issues with the Lollapalooza at the end would have been solved by having another 2-ish episodes afterwards. Sure, take the top 9, make them go through 2. Lollapalooza's the third one, and then we have another 2, and then we have the finale. Let's make lip syncing one of the main challenges. Kind of like, was season 15's wasn't a punishment. Am I right?
Season 15 just happened because that's what they want. That is what it was so successful in 14. They just repeated it in 15.
Yeah. So I really think that we could have been okay, we've been testing you on all of these skills. Now we're testing you on your lip sync capabilities. Here's the Lollapalooza, and also we're bringing back one wild card to show her game in this. Because I saw something really interesting that reminded me of this. A lot of the gals that we think of as being so good is because they have the capability of also showcasing their lip sync skills when they hit the bottom. Yeah. In this format, if you are a lip sync assassin and your other things are kind of mid, if you haven't worked on them enough, you never get high enough to move forward.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the chance to showcase your best capability, which is the lip sync Lollapalooza. And so I was really fascinated by that, because it's sort of true. I think a lot of the gals have leveled up a lot of their skill sets, though, which has made it more helpful.
And I think there's so many things that go into what maybe feels like this finale. Something just feels off. There was no finale eleganza. Where was everyone's finale look? Where were the other participating?
No introductions on the runway. Yes, completely agree.
It felt almost in a way rushed and not ceremonious. This should be a ceremony. This should be exciting. This is someone entering the Hall of Fame. This is a tournament of champions. Make it feel like that. And this episode especially was egregious when it came to this idea of production, like having an idea of what they wanted. They wanted Ginger. I think they definitely wanted Ginger in the top 2, and I think the other top 2 spot kind of would have went to someone else. I think here we kind of saw that they really wanted Georges.
Yeah. But I think Aja or Lydia would have been, nobody would have been like, I can't believe it. Or Bosco. I mean, it's kind of,
yes.
I think, yeah.
I thought after last week, I thought it was going to be Ginger versus Bosco.
Same.
I really thought that's who it was going to be. And my two biggest problems with this was, one, they had no idea what these rankings meant. And while the math is possible, I really don't believe they all ranked Aja low enough.
Yeah.
To be sixth in the seating, I could not believe. And two, the fact that who got to pick the lip sync song was random when there's only 2 balls. Like, at least give us the illusion that you put like 10 in there to make it feel like it's something. There's only 2. They're not. We're seeing Bruno spin this thing. Nothing is happening.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, he grabbed the first one. Like, the other one didn't even move closer to the center, so he just picked that one. The fact that the lower seated person didn't get to pick the lip sync song, I think is a huge mistake.
Either Flickerman isn't even trying anymore.
Because
yeah.
Every person who chose the song won the lip sync.
It's true.
And I think it's too big of an advantage to give to the person who is seen as the bigger threat. The only case that happened was Bosco versus Daya. But I also saw that because I thought Bosco was rated 4th. Not that Daya is a terrible entertainer. Daya is an absolutely incredible and phenomenal person when it comes to entertaining and lip syncing, but it just felt so weird that you do not give the lower seated person an advantage because you're so afraid that it's not going to follow the narrative you planned out.
I would have.
Please
go ahead. Oh no, I was just gonna say it would have been fun if they had every girl's name in there, and it doesn't matter who's lip syncing. The person
whoever's name gets pulled gets to pick what the song they're. Tori, I love that.
That would have been so entertaining.
That would have been really funny.
Wild.
Yeah, because then the girl that picks like, oh, I know, I don't, because I have even the possibility of going against Bosco.
I don't want her to have
Burlesque off the table.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to make Ginger and Kerri Colby do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I redid this moment is me during draft race being like, okay, gays, the lesbian is here to tell you how basketball works.
I love that they absolutely had to coach her through explaining
she
this.
knew.
I don't know.
Texas,
I mean,
no.
Follows the NCAA.
Fair. And Jonah, all the way to your point, like at the end of the day, also after all of that production riggery to get us there, we get Ginger picks disease, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. No, she didn't win that lip sync. Like, she was not the best. I mean, I have seen her do so many funny characters and so many things that even when I think they're funny, I've pointed to on the show, like, I wish she would stop doing it. It's still funny, but it's a gimmick that she's doing so many times. She creates a character immediately on stage for whatever the song is and has a whole storyline for them. I've seen her do it 6 times. They're all amazing. And then she just kind of does disease like she's at her hometown bar. And it's not a bad performance, but Kerri does it like she's fucking every single person that is going to watch this show and give them a disease.
Social disease. Exactly. You.
That is so interesting. Keep going, but we'll chat.
I was shocked that Ginger picked this. I was shocked that she picked it with such confidence. Like, this is the one I got to do. And then she didn't give what I felt was a Ginger Minch performance. But then you're like, they're not giving it to Kerri. So we're setting off on the weirdest possible tone. And there were like, if I'm sitting in a production meeting, there's 20 different ways we could have said this was going to go, such that we did not start on this exact problem. And for me, it was just like, I'm taken out of any fantasy. I love Ginger. I want her to be in the Hall of Fame. I have a different idea about how we would put her there. But like, there's nothing that doesn't make me want to see Ginger succeed. And as Ru said, it's all done with love. And so I'm just trying to reconcile doing it with love and like rooting for both queens with also just feeling like this was actually one particular person's song and not at all the others.
And part of where it is the same things that I feel we always see from Ginger from this episode for me is I got this screen cap and a few others where it is a thing I complained about a few weeks ago, where part of Ginger's bit is just standing there and going, "Get a load of this girl.
Yeah.
You see this? Look what she's doing." That's not really competitive lip syncing. That's borderline mockery in a way that I don't think Ginger means it maliciously, but I feel is a lot less effort than what Kerri Colby was putting in with the splits and the spins and the whatnot. And no, you shouldn't have to do those things to be able to lip sync, but I think if part of your lip sync is making fun of someone else doing those things, that's not really... that's not combating that. That's a weird way of matching that energy, and it's a way that I don't like, and she did it every lip sync this episode.
And I think she's actually mocking herself not being able to do those things.
Yeah, she does it in the third lip sync where she shows that she's not gonna
with the knees, and she does the little spin instead.
I mean, like, that's one of those things where I'm like, I think that bit's funny every time. She does do it literally every time, but I don't think it's not funny.
Yeah.
I mean, lest we all be Megami doing this.
Yeah.
Negating a split.
And I think that's the thing. I think we have to remember that at the end of the day, the splits is a gimmick. The pointing and going, get all of this is a gimmick. Like, they're all gimmicks to get through the musicality of the piece to make further things. I think that what it really was is that in this performance, Kerri was judged based on her potential, and Ginger based on what she did. And I think that in Kerri not taking her hair down, like holding some reveals for later, I think it kept her on the back foot when she should have been skyrocketing off. And while I wouldn't call Ginger's performance of Disease like a world-changing one, a revelation, I would say that she continued to kind of build and build and build and build in this song, and in a way that Kerri just sort of like built to a certain point and then stayed there.
I personally see this lip sync as like 55 Kerri, 45 Ginger, and that wasn't enough for Kerri to slay the number one person in the entire bracketing. However, what this entire bracketing was missing was an upset. We needed to see an upset. That's how you keep things, I think it's how you keep it interesting. You have an underdog win something. Could you imagine the gag if Kerri sent Ginger home here? Ginger, who won 4 challenges in a row, almost 5. Almost won the 5 challenges that she competed in this season, and then gets sent home in the first lip sync on. Do you know?
To the wild card.
To the wild card.
Yeah.
Where's
Duke in this? Where's Duke?
I wish they felt okay taking storytelling risks like that, because that, to me, is so much more entertaining than to see what they have handpicked out and for it to go that way. They're failing. I feel like the producers are failing at storytelling. I don't know if it's because the show's been around for so many years that we're just a little bit used to it and we know what to look for, but it really feels like they have lost the ability to tell an engaging story when it comes to the winners and losers. And so I that's what I think was missing. Not that I think Ginger should have went home that lip sync, but there should have been at least one. There should have been one.
I unfortunately do think that might have been the one for me, because I agree with TK. I think Ginger. I think we reach a point where the girls need to be crowned differently. There needs to be like legendary battle, and it's the girls who everybody thinks have a crown and don't, and they square off 6 girls 5 weeks, and it's a super crown. But we got to stop pretending that it's fair to have Lydia go against Ginger for a plethora of reasons.
Well, and you and I were talking yesterday, and I was saying, like, you know, Lifetime Achievement Awards. Like, I also think they should be doing, at this point, there's so many queens this is such an industry, even if you just took the part of the industry that is Drag Race and Drag Race adjacent, but do the Rui Awards, and somebody gets Queen of the Year or something like that. It doesn't all have to be competition. I would watch so many things that were Drag Race related that were produced that ended with somebody and it's so funny, like Rue, who rages against participation trophies, like, are we not kind of there?
Oh my god, roast.
How much money do we give to the runner-up? How much money do we give to Miss Congeniality? How much do we give to everyone who was at the finale today?
Do a roast of Ginger and have it end with her getting a crown.
Right, also, exactly. Like, there's so many people.
For the runner-up? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that's what BB won.
And it's fantastic. I'm stoked about that. I love seeing queens get paid. I love seeing the runners-up get paid.
But previous runners-up got 50.
I know, exactly.
Whoops. Well, they were only there for half the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's true. But I just like, I'm always thinking the show should like innovate other products. And I would love just a comedy competition where, again, it's just like a battle of roasts, but I also like your idea of just like, it's a one night roast. And at the end, they're like, hey, we want to give a Lifetime Achievement Award. I would really love for them to do a televised musical. Or even if it's a fucking musical, but like some of their best like challenge ideas, but just done, like take the time and actually produce the show over the course of the 6 to 8 plus weeks that it would take to do it and film it, rather than saying, hey, you all have a week, and if you stumble at all, we're going to have the most awkward conversation where we tell you how good you didn't do, even though you were perfectly fine, and we just have to pick a loser this week. Like, there's so many other things the show could be doing, and Ginger is such an institution, not just in drag everywhere, but on Drag Race and as part of the Drag Race world, just saying, hey, you're the fucking Queen of the Year. Like, you're the one that we want to recognize. It's been 10 years. We just love you, without having to do this and then put you, these girls, and us through this really awkward experience of having to navigate, like, okay, I love you and I do root for you and I think you did well, but you also didn't do that well. I have eyes in my head. This thing happened. It's weird that you won every single challenge and then won every single lip sync. Like, you still could have gotten here if you'd been top 2. I mean, like, there's just so many options, and I feel so awkward watching this right now.
Me and the boys were watching an SNL sketch that was cut for time, and it's Will Ferrell as a theater director in high school.
Oh yeah, where they're all outside his office.
That is literally what Rue is doing to these girls sometimes. Yeah. She walks into the workroom and goes, which one of you girls would cut off your own foot to get a roll with a peg leg's authenticity? And like, all of the girls show up with meat cleavers, whereas Lydia is already gnawing on her foot and is like, I did this at home. And so like,
George is just like, I did it yesterday. My leg is a ghost.
I think back to Delta working on Untucked of season 3. Oh, Rue, pick me, Rue. Oh, pick me, Rue. Just putting things on her head. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yep. Delta called it out how many years ago that's what this is?
Yeah.
Also, I say this as the resident Bosco delusional fan on this entire show.
No delusion.
I mean, she's...
My goodness, you ever see somebody who was meant to do something like that? We were meant to see this, not only see this performance, there's something I don't know, so heartbreaking, like with multitudes of this, of one lip syncing against someone who is closely one of your best friends. Like, they talk about it a little bit, but they are genuinely like one of the tightest pairs to come from season 14. Like, there's fan art of them like shipping them as drag characters.
They are pussy biffles.
They are lesbians together. Like, those are two women in love. And
Lucky Daya.
I know. Lucky both of them. But I arguably want to say this was the best performance of the entire night, bar none.
Definitely.
And the fact that she gave the absolute best performance, was absolutely stellar throughout the entire season, and then still didn't make it to the top 2. I don't know, it was a little gut-wrenching.
Didn't get to sit down. Didn't get to sit down between crushing the best song for her and losing
to the worst song, period.
A bad seed on this earth.
Yes. Well, and part of it was if Ginger had chosen wherever, she was not winning against Bosco.
No.
They chose the two girls with the most demure tiny titties to do wherever. To do Shakira
because their breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains.
But there was this look on Bosco's face that you could see in a competitor where it's just kind of like it hits them. She didn't even have a moment to like.
It's so funny because Daya's crying is also the unspoken thing. It's also that Daya's crying because she knows she's going home. She knows that she's not winning against Bosco to show me how you burlesque, like, and I think in a very beautiful way, like in a like I root for my sister way, but also it's awkward to be lip syncing against her. This is it for me.
I wouldn't want to try to outdrink my best friend Judy Garland either. Like there are things that people are just born for.
But boy, does she give it her all still. Like it's such a good performance. Don't get me wrong. It's not.
She did great.
Yeah, she's not fucking around. But I think she immediately knows, like, I'm not doing this. And then very weirdly, that same energy just transfers to Bosco, who expresses it differently, but it's just like, okay, I'm obviously not winning against Ginger, who is so clearly the front runner right now to this Pink song that is so not my vibe, so not what I'm dressed for.
She served too hard.
She had nowhere to go.
Yeah. And you know, somebody else, a lot of people commented that, especially since we did not do a single other fucking thing for this episode, letting them change every bracket update.
Yes, let them put on a different outfit.
Yeah. Just anything. Even a different outfit for just the last one, which I think is what we did in All Stars 9. I think the gals changed for the last one. But like,
well, they had a finale. They got to do a finale look, and then they all came back because they were trying to see who's going to lip sync for the crown.
Right.
They didn't even do that here, so I'm fully on board with whoever suggested that. And thank you for bringing that up on the show too. Absolutely should have given everybody an opportunity to change a different outfit.
Yeah.
Let them bring a couple other reveals. Because everybody had to do the reveal. You have to do your reveals in the first one because you have to do everything to make sure you can even make it onto the next one. There is no saving anything.
Yeah.
Georgia's came the closest of being able to pace hers.
Yeah.
And even that, I think, is because she didn't come up against.
That's my queen.
And I truly think that's because Georges is so confident in her own capabilities. I think if she had run into Ginger sooner, I think they would have all come off real fast.
Can I also give flowers to Georges this episode? Because,
amazing.
My goodness, this was the 3 best performances Georges has ever given on her drag race career. She was so emotive. Her moving was beautiful. This wherever lip sync was one of the best things she's ever done. She, like, I fell in love with Georges kind of after season 14. She wasn't my queen for season 14, and she came back for All Stars 8, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I really enjoyed her in All Stars 9 because I got to see what kind of a wackadoo she is. And this season just made me fall in love with her and her charm so much more.
Why won't she leave?
It's Rue's Horcrux.
Yeah.
But
now she really can't leave.
No, but no, she'll win next year on All Stars 11 when she comes back.
Ew.
4 times the charm.
But I like, this was arguably the best showcasing she has ever had. And I also want to give a little bit of backstage tea. Aja talked about this. They filmed Ginger's crowning first, and then Georgia's kind of either being in her zooted mind because she is a weed queen, or just kind of just in her own emotions, kind of forgetting, didn't realize they were going to film hers. So they went backstage to reset everything. And Georgia's is really just like in her head upset. And Aja's like comforting her. And she's like, you know, they're going to film your crowning too, right? And the way Aja describes it is Georgia's looking up like a puppy dog, like, sister, really? And
unbreak my heart.
I was expecting her to just fully code switch and be like, oh my god, girl, I forgot.
So it's why her reaction unironically is very raw and real to not winning, because in that moment, in that footage, she genuinely did not know they were going to film her crowning, so she thought Ginger had just won there.
And that's crazy, because like I even wonder if maybe part of what you're pointing to, where because zooted, sure, but wait a minute, how much ceremony was missing from this episode? How many things that are normally in a finale didn't happen? Why the hell would Georges think that this is going to be a normal episode?
Yeah.
I really don't blame this for being that, as Kevo put so gracefully on the cover, the night the lights went out in Georges, because nothing went the fuck right. So why should she think anything would?
I would even say that, and I mean, now I've now watched the live reaction of Ginger winning. I've watched, we've seen the episode, and I've watched the one where it plays for the club, and she reacts. I don't know if they told Ginger that we were doing the usual, because she looks way too for real shocked in that moment. It is highly possible they didn't tell either of these girls, and they were just like, and we're just gonna call it. Thanks, goodbye. Because I also think that every drag queen does think it's kind of dumb that we have to go through the rigmarole.
Yeah.
Especially Courtney.
Well, and Jeremy.
And Jeremy. Yes.
Oh, God, my poor Jeremy.
After all this time that we have never done a live one.
I still am shocked. And I don't know, man.
It's so
it's because they want the plausible deniability in case something happens with who they want to originally air, and so they could change it last minute.
I know it is. I mean, I know it is. It's just like the things that the producers of this show want versus what I think needs to happen just to keep it an institution, and like the hard times will come eventually. I mean, I know it really seems like they feel like the formula is just unbreakable, but that's never the case. And there just seems to be so little planning for what will happen when the country's mood shifts on the way they do things.
And
I mean, you go ahead, Nico.
Well, because I mean, number one, the part of what I do want to get annoyed about is the formula. I was positing that Martha Wash might be one of the most performed artists on the show at this point, because Martha Wash contributed hundreds of vocals that she is uncredited for throughout the entirety of 90s, 80s, 2000s EDM, having been a pioneer of vocal styles throughout the 70s and 80s, credited to her own industry. And she in and of herself is a legend. I am one of the biggest Martha Wash stans I know who has this little melanin. And one of the things that I just really want to say is maybe we got to stop doing these songs. Maybe it's not Martha that's the problem, but it's that I knew there'd be a Pink song. And I feel like the Pink songs get in there because Rue is afraid that Pink one day is going to sue over the whole Thorgy thing. I'm kidding. But like, I really fucking hated the set list. I love these songs, but this was not the set list. And there was nothing weird. I'm not saying I want one of them to have to do White Wedding. I'm not saying I am looking for one of these girls to have to perform Schism, okay? But I am. Oh my God! You don't understand what you've just done. But I really do think that there needs to be a little bit further drive, because I don't know that this actually represents the fandom's viewership. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Pink, Show Me How You Burlesque. I don't even know why we did Show Me How You Burlesque. Was that in for Bosco? Did Bosco say you gave Ginger the whole season? Give me this. They
put that in hoping Bosco would get it,
and hoping that the audience would be like, either one of two things happen. This could have been the upset, which is like, oh, I hope Bosco gets it, or how insane this did not go to Bosco.
Yeah, this is the Judy song for Susie.
Right, exactly. I think it was in there to be associated with Bosco, however it went. Which is cute. I love that Bosco actually did get it. I love seeing her perform it. I do like to see how Bosco burlesques. But is that enough for a tip in such a small set list?
I will say I'm so happy we finally got a Kesha song, the first Kesha song on Drag Race. She loved it. She loved the lip sync. Joyride's a great song to lip sync to. It feels weird. Like, if you're gonna do Mayhem, why would you not do Garden of Eden? Like, give us a better, like, Disease is not a bad song.
It was a single.
Yeah, it's not a single. And also, did this film after?
This
Mayhem
filmed in like April.
Yeah, this film
just after Mayhem came out.
after the.
Oh, and Please, everybody, take 5 minutes and go read the set list from the opening night of the Monster Ball in Vegas. What a mayhem ball! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
No, so this was filmed before the season 17 Lollapalooza and crowning. So Miss Lydia Butthole Collins
Looking directly in the camera.
lying to us saying, I think I did this before, knowing full gosh damn well she was doing it next week, which is so funny.
Oh, she must be so tired.
Aya walks up and is like, so you have experience with this? And she goes, yes, I think we did it on my season. You think you did it on your season? Lydia, you're not doing
Wait, isn't she talking about Raider Queen?
Yeah, Dia came to her about Raider Queen, but then she was like, are you ready for this lip sync, Lollapalooza? And she's like, I just did one.
Guys, I don't want to get too excited, but guys, Lydia's boyfriend is here.
Get out of here with that. This is your worst joke.
No, this is Corey King.
Guys, it's Corey King. Hey, Corey King.
I know. It's still your worst joke. Jonah, don't support him in this.
No, and literally every time we go to Dunkin', we literally just point at one of these, anything orange and pink. Go, it's Corey.
It's Corey King.
Oh, it's
We're
Corey.
going to put a red wig on it, and it's going to be Corey Toot.
Yeah.
And then the wig falls off.
Oh, no!
We really hope that if Corey and Susie do All Stars, that they do each other for Snatch Game.
Well, that would be two black queens impersonating one another.
I didn't know Q was here.
Can I also talk about a very parasocial moment that I had watching this was Lydia posted the picture of her Shakira cake at 5, knowing that when we were both younger, both Lydia and I were obsessed with Shakira. My first album that I ever had my first CD was Oral Fixation Volume 2, and I had the poster of Shakira dressed as Eve from Adam and Eve. In case people don't know, from the Bible, up on my wall, and I would listen to it, and I would just stare at her because she was so gorgeous.
But Laundry Service was one of the first CDs that I was also given. I was a big fan of Shakira, and I'm finding this fascinating because it is reminding me that 22 years ago, we had Shakira starting. And 22 years before season 1 is Madonna time. So some of these songs we also have to remember are just the songs that were 20 years ago, which is what we've been playing on Drag Race for a really long time. I don't know if I'm ready to. I don't know if I would have called this a weird one. It felt like these songs were built for certain queens, and so that was what we wanted. I don't know if it was. I'm trying to figure it out. I feel like the show in the regular seasons wants to showcase songs that the audience knows, and whether or not the queen can perform it is up to the queen. Whereas I feel on All Stars, they do a little better job of being like, we're going to do a lip sync song that we know is in your repertoire.
It's more of that management agent gaggery.
Mm-hmm.
Wild that none of these songs were Aja songs.
Oh, the biggest disrespect and disgrace that not only was Aja number 6 in the rating, they didn't give her a fucking dance track.
Yeah, there was nothing that was Aja specific.
I also just KEVO, there's an image that you keep showing of everybody on the stage together that I really love, because one of the things that it did point out to me, you can actually see the color palette and the way it operated, and how there's a shift in light and dark. And I don't mean this even too silly, but you can sort of see where the people who had vibrant color for the most part did a little better, and the people who drew darker or extremely light, their movements just don't capture as well for some of these songs. And Aja's movements would have been lost in the wrong outfit. And I don't know. I feel like their outfits also definitely play a factor in the songs and how the songs come across. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you think about performers, again, Bosco now is so associated with kind of being a burlesque performer, and putting a song in there that would have been a gag if she got it, or if she didn't get it is a moment. And kind of similarly, Aja is so associated with a certain kind of performance and a certain kind of lip sync that having a song in there that your first thought is, oh, it would be amazing if Aja got that. To me, that like I didn't think Aja was going to win, even though I thought she could have deserved it. I just thought they weren't going to give it to her, but I was really excited for whatever song got her to the next round. And there was just no song. I mean, like probably the closest one would have been Joyride.
Yeah, that would have been my guess.
But that like I think she would have fucking killed it. But that's not like an Aja song. And there are a lot of them out there. And I was bummed that we got nothing. No female rappers on here. No Glorilla, no Cardi, no.
What are we getting? Another Megan lip sync.
Another Megan lip sync. Again, anything but fucking Ice Spice.
And I believe only 2 of these performers are. One of these performers is a person of color, and then there are 2 performers of Latinx heritage. But like, this is one of those seasons where the fact is that so much of Drag Race is a very Black culture show, and there was very little Black culture represented in both the stage and the song choice here.
And shout out to our queen, Miss Roxy Andrews, who at Roscoe's recently brought up the fact that a Latina queen has only won one time, Miss Bianca Del Rio. And Roxy is not happy about it anymore, and she is talking about it. And I think she's right to, only because this show does stuff with its winner demographics. It is aware of them. I'm not going to say it tries to balance things.
But brought up Kylie right away.
Yeah, exactly. It does notice where it is and address things when it comes to its winners.
Yeah.
But not everything, not always. And I think Latina queens and Asian queens and big queens are just sitting on this list of just like, I think we're safe to do whatever we want with these girls. And it's starting to bum me out, but I was very, Roxy brought this up in a very impassioned and real way at Roscoe's. And it was something I really had not thought about, but is 100% correct and fascinating.
And Ginger is partially Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
But I think a lot of what Roxy is talking about is how poorly the show treats a lot of our queens from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And how it feels like the judging panel has difficulty connecting to those queens due to either a language barrier or a separate sense of how humor is given or a version of drag. And I think we saw a lot of that play out on Global as well. And I think Roxy is more talking about queens that are very forward with their heritage.
That's what I was going to say.
Even say that Bianca Del Rio isn't exactly vocal about her heritage outside of a crack here or there. She's not as forward with this or as connected to her heritage as some of the gals who are directly from Puerto Rico or from other Hispanic and Latinx
first
countries.
generation.
Yes, or our first generation. Like they bring that culture deeply in with them. And it's possible because it has become popular in Drag Race to bring your culture with you, as that is appreciated and celebrated more and more. And that wasn't quite the case back in season 6, but it is definitely something that, this is not a world where Roxy's like, Ginger's too white to be Puerto Rican. This is definitely a conversation about how Drag Race just isn't ready to recognize that a lot of their best queens are, English as a second language or grew up speaking double languages or, are just coming from a different place that is still so deeply connected to American culture and just doesn't resonate with RuPaul.
And Roxy was, in that case, in particular, pointing to Georges.
Yes.
And sort of saying Georges should have won. And I think that is when you look at sort of the difference in how heritage comes into play with those two queens being on the show, you can see what Roxy is talking about.
And as a very white Latin person, I do feel like I also have I'm very guilty of when my cousin, also a very white Latin person who has bright red hair. And so it's so silly that I hear ginger and automatically say, oh, she's not Latin. But I ultimately do think that one of the most important things in this discussion is that we recognize that there's a level to which the show kind of drives us to fight with the idea of culture as a shield, because Geneva got told she acted a little too Mexican and got a little too cultural and kind of lost points with the girls for it. But at the same time, we have this balance of it where Bianca doesn't really engage with the status because she doesn't need to. She has so much else going for her because she was the first of her type of queen. And I feel like we try to be very understanding about when people bring in culture, because you never attack someone's culture. You never come for their culture ever, right? But I think that scares some girls to engage with it because they don't want to be seen as the girl who hides behind, oh, I have trouble with my accent. And you don't ever want to hear that that's become like a weapon in the narrative. So I feel like, especially Latin people, the concept of passing privilege becomes such a dangerous conversation. And how many girls would rather be a popular, cute white girl than be judged for their Latin status? I know it's why I just don't bring it up sometimes, because I don't want to hear you're white. Oh, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. You get to decide how Latin I am. Thank you. And I get it. And so it must be really hard. It must really be a question of what to do for girls going into it. Do you play it up or do you play it down? So, I made it all heavy, and to make it light again.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just kind of trying to think about how to, because I'm sure in your experience you don't bring it up, but one of the things I was thinking about is how often you share, again, your heritage. Yeah. Your family and the things that you don't share a lot of, and this was a time that I was perceived as Latin on the street somewhere.
Your mom really making picadillo for dinner.
Yeah.
And I
just need a second. That was all.
But you share a lot of your family experiences, and even that sometimes, that's a Drag Race. Roxy Andrews, regardless of her ethnic heritage, had one of the biggest family sharing experiences we've ever seen on Drag Race. So a lot of it oftentimes is what I get to thinking about is is the show also devaluing Latin heritage and family experience by not elevating girls who bring that specifically and talk about it, and are willing to sort of put forward, this is the culture that I come from. These are the parents that I have. These are the aunts that I have. This is what I ate in my house. We do get those girls who really elevate that part of the experience, not just the lived body perceived identity, but also, the deep background and history. And regardless, doesn't matter what the stumbling block is, we're not seeing those girls get elevated and get the crown. And again, it's another thing where I don't have any answers. I don't think there's any producer who's fuck Latin girls. But it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and somebody has a queen that we all love and respect has brought it up in a way that really points to that. And yet again, it's another thing, the show's got to take a look at itself.
And it's another queen who lost a crown she was expected to win to a fully deserving winner. A fully deserving winner.
Yeah.
But Roxy did lose an expected crown, and not to be a person who maybe notices this thing, but I think there's at least 3 or 4 versions of Drag Race International where it's a predominantly Latin X language, and none of those girls won. Instead, a white girl from Texas who probably can't say anything beyond taco burrito won global. And so, I guess I'm not saying, I agree with you. It's not like Ru wakes up and says, no Selena songs in this house ever. But it definitely does feel like we're not putting on Telemundo or Univision in the background to help people feel at home.
And yet again, this is another thing. Like, do a show. Like, do like a Latin queen,
like Slasian Vacation,
Exactly.
or whatever.
Yes.
Or just straight up
Slasian
say,
Vacation.
"Hey, welcome to Drag Race Puerto Rico. This is what we're running now," and you
Yeah.
could have a killer time. I think it's a highlighting that RuPaul actually isn't as good at judging international as she is being set up to be. I think she can cover a lot, but the references are so different, and she seems either not interested in or not doesn't have the time to put in the time to get to know these things a little better so that she can connect with them better. And I think it just comes across more specifically at home when we have 75, 80, 85% of the girls that she feels comfortable having similar references to, and then there's maybe 20 to 15% who she's like, right, but have you assimilated yet? Like, it start to be how it feels, and it's very interesting, and it's a conversation that I think we would have had sooner, but because RuPaul is a woman of color, like, it takes a while to notice and to come to the surface, I suppose.
The important thing that you're bringing to the conversation is that we need to remember that we're speaking from our position of cultural understanding, and RuPaul is coming from her own.
Right.
And her own is built in and baked in of so many things where, like so many queer people, we were celebrated for our artistic contributions, but told to stop being so fucking gay in the supermarket. Mm-hmm. And RuPaul had that for being gay, black, a drag queen, where what she did was so funny. It was in the Brady Bunch movie, but the people that went and saw that movie in 1995 did not want their guidance counselors in their kids' high schools to look like RuPaul, no matter how funny they thought the fucking movie was. And so I also...
Many of our parents barely wanted a character like RuPaul to be in our schools if they were a cisgender woman. That was how bad things were and frequently still are. So yeah, it's that deep.
So I do want to I want to give an award. Okay, I want everybody search deep in your heart. We talked about everything we talked about, and even though we just talked about all of this, mine is not going to George's. I want everybody to give out your very own crown to any girl that competed in this season. Any girl from all of All Stars 10, and you get to give them any crown you want. You can name it. You can say she should have just won. You can give any... Oh, KEVO, you're such a goddamn superstar. You can give any girl a crown. And I'm willing to go first. I'm willing to go last. You sound ready.
Well, I think we all know who I'm going to say.
Me!
Oh, I would absolutely give you a crown. No, we all know who I'm going to say. Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
Honestly, second guess. Second guess is that.
That beautiful woman deserves everything in life.
What crown you giving her? You going to name it, or you just giving her a crown?
The crown of I brought what I had and I'm enough.
Oh, the queen of she is enough.
If I had any real power, I would keep Bosco.
I love it. I'm gonna give out mine because I'm right here and I'm next to him, and his was so good, so I want to ride his coattails. But I think I would like to give a crown of perseverance to Aja. Aja has had such an up and down roller coaster life, and when you think about what she represented, her vicious jealousy in that moment that she can barely express to Valentina, and it topples out of her mouth. And it becomes one of the most important things in the history of the show. And it's at her own expense. And she turns it into success. And then she comes back as a lip sync all-star. And even before then, she's in that amazing moment in the reunion. Almost every great moment in the reunion has Aja in the background going...
She's giving a good face.
And so she's gone on this journey. And then she's here again. And she's so beautiful. She really is a RuPaul. And in that survivor spirit. And so I just think that Aja deserves the crown of true perseverance. Girl never gave up.
I'll go. For me, it is, of course, Miss Irene the Alien, the crown of the comeback kid, the crown of there, but for the grace of God, go I. You know, it just... I mean, she said it herself, like, you know, from where she left, and it was like I've always said about her, it was just so obvious how good she was. And I don't hate that part of the thing that the show really commits to is the rules, and just like, yeah, I mean, even if you're really fucking cool and like it's so obvious that you are one of those girls, should you wind up in the bad lane of being the worst and not doing the best in the lip sync, you just might go. And I find it so rarely makes me mad. Like, it's so often it's a girl who I'm like, oh man, bummer that she went out 6th, but got to see so much of her and loved it. It's so rare that she's so clearly awesome and is the 16th, is the first person out of 16. And you just, it could envision so many cool things from her, and you're not going to get to see a single one. And so to see her come back and deliver on every single promise, and to show that she was really exactly who she promised you she was the day she showed up on this show. What a fucking blast. So cool. Such a great queen. Dignity and talent and comedy. I mean, she's so fucking fantastic.
And like humility.
Yeah. Because like humility, but that confidence that you want to see a drag queen have, you know,
Yes.
it's all of it. I mean, she's a total package. She's somebody I'm so excited to see on the road at some point. I don't care where it is. It'll be so great. And I just absolutely adore her.
It's so interesting because I would want to give a crown to Denali for gal I wish had actually made it to the semifinals. I want to give a crown to Tina Burner for being surprisingly doing well, and sad and shocked you didn't get to go much further. But I think at the end of the day, I think what I want to give out is not really a crown. It's a ring, and
Is it your phone number?
It's no, not to this one. It's a ring, and it's that black plastic ring from Pretty Pretty Princess, and that's for my good friend and yours, Mistress Isabel Brooks, for being the true villain of this piece. Thank you for your participation. Enjoy the black plastic ring, and please do not return. Thank you.
That's part of what I even mean too, where this finale felt so inconclusive. She was gone, and we spent this week being like, is Mistress coming back? And then she didn't. And that was it. We never saw her again. Narrative over. So weird. Because, yeah, I agree. The villain of the piece. And she was just defeated and then just gone.
The first time the villain of a season has not made it to a finale.
Wow.
Actually, I would say season 17, because no one in the season 17 finale was a villain. The villain was Arietti, and she got eliminated.
Weird. That's what felt weird.
Kevo, who you crowning? I see that Andrew has given out trade of the season to a daddy-looking Tina Burner.
I would agree.
Same.
It's really tough for me. You know me, I'm a giant softie, so I want everyone to just eat cake and be happy. I love Andrew's take of Cuckoo for that culo. Because, yeah, she was great, and I love that she got to the semifinals, and I would... You know, that Dracula is going to live with me for the rest of my life. I've already made so many references to it since. Gosh, I don't know. All of these queens were so special. It's hard for me to pick who I would want to have gotten, like... Did you go specifically already?
Yeah, we all went.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know. Everyone. I'm gonna break mine into little pieces and pass it out. I think that's better.
You don't want to give some special love to your favorite, Miss Alyssa?
It turned out, is very testy. That's one of the things that made this season so... Oh, no. In that case, Yes. Let me make sure I know where her card is before I start talking. I've got it. Acid Betty is the one that I want to give a special crown to. She was the one I missed. And again, no finality. I would have loved to see her show up and be able to root on, a Team Purple girl getting to the crown. Because she was great. And that was the thing about this season, and that I always love about All Stars in general, where you get a second chance to get to know these girls in a new light. And Acid Betty's performance on her bracket was amazing. So I would love to give her a special crown. I would have loved to see her come back, and all of these girls come back for the finale. But unfortunately, it was just over with their bracket. So we'll see them when we see them, I guess.
Bring back my girls. I want to bring back my girls with this cast. I want the full 18. I want her to do bracket 1, bracket 2, bracket 3. Bring them all for the semifinal. I want it. I want T.S. Madison to get to the bottom of this.
I also want to apologize, guys. I'm normally like the comment king, and my comments were not loading, and I just got all of them. So I do love seeing all the NPB fag love.
The call for winners.
The call for winners. The crossed out mistress. The big thing for me.
I had to update it.
The big thing for me with this All Stars is I'm done with All Stars unless we get really wacky. Maybe for next All Stars we just say no finalists. I don't know. But like when Roxy. So, yeah, Roxy didn't win, but the whole season we spent going, well, Roxy's going to win, Alyssa's going to win, Ginger's going to win, and then they did, except Roxy didn't, I know. But we are at the place where, like, I need you to get such powerhouses out of the equation because you're making the math a little too hard in one direction or another. And we would have never gotten more Irene. We would have never gotten to fall further in love with Lydia. We could have avoided Mistress. And so I really would love to see taking a bit more of a chance for All Stars 11. I'd probably love to bring back somebody wacky. I would love to see like a crazy name in the mix.
Like a Tammy Brown. Ooh.
Yeah, maybe like a classic throwback name. Or I guess I'm always actually just doing Angeria's Tammy Brown.
Yep.
Always. But I guess I would want to bring back somebody like Sugar without Spice or Spice without Sugar. Just do something so that we're kind of like, oh, okay, choice. That'd be fun. I assume we'll probably see the brackets stick around. It allows them to get more girls through at lower price rates, and then girls don't have to have 6 weeks of stuff prepared. Girls can buy in with 3 weeks of stuff, and then buy 3 more weeks of stuff, so it isn't a 13-look buy-in up front. So it's much more affordable for the girls. It's a lot easier on production to maintain and finance 3 blocks of short scheduling than it is one much more dramatic block where girls have to change all of their bookings. This also allows them to keep more things under wrap. So I guess it's going to be some version of this again. But yeah, I would love like a Sugar without a Spice or a Spice without a Sugar, something.
There's a cruise happening and just Spices. It's like Bob. There's a bunch of queens doing a drag race cruise or like a drag queen cruise, and just Spice is going.
The ad was 5 queens and it was like a bunch of big names, and then the 5th one was just Spice.
Spice.
Okay, girl.
They're doing 2 shows, but one of them secretly Sugar.
No, I hope Sugar is on the show. No, give Sugar to us for my idea. Give me. Oh, I guess I'm saying pour some sugar on me.
She gets to.
But I can't do it alone.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to restart Full House with Sugar and Spice playing Michelle Tanner, and we can get this off the ground right now.
Doi!
Oh, Candace will love that.
So who would you bring back?
Season 8 queen and stunning Emmy-nominated makeup artist Layla McQueen.
Ooh.
Do me a favor, Tori. Who would you summon back to the table?
Oh, one moment, please. It's so tough. Of the weird ones.
Oh, anyone. I
Weird
just want a
ones.
weird one.
It's so interesting because like the ones that I really enjoy are the ones that are like a little weird or a little more likely to quit drag than others. But you know what? No, I'm gonna say the following. I watched Slasian Royale Meet the Queens this week, which just happened. I'm very excited for you who to be back on our screens. I'm super amped. I really liked what little we saw of her last time. Honestly, Mary Duda, I was going to say Robbie Turner, but I know how that went. So
Well, listen, she chose to lie that day, and I think if she apologized, we can maybe move on from that lie.
I love Andrew's idea of bring back pork chop. I love me a Victoria, but like, yeah, I'm excited for Yahuwah. I'm excited for. I would want one of those. It's just so there's so many girls, and it's just so difficult.
Are you looking through the Drag Race draft roster?
I'm literally looking through my rankings right now.
Oh.
I would love to see Peppermint come back for an All Stars, though.
Ooh, yeah.
I really want Peppermint to return. I think that'd be really great. And if we want someone to fuck with RuPaul, I think we could drag Pearl back in here and prove a point. You got to make Pearl want to prove a point, and I don't think that's part of Pearl's personality, but I would love to see it. Yes. Plosives.
Explosions! We were talking earlier, I forget what even the context was, about the idea of Corey, Susie, and Lydia all being on the show together. At the same time, I forget what the context of the conversation was, but part of where I'm reaching for wanting something like that is, we're talking about, this wasn't the worst, but this could use a lot of fine-tuning, and it could even use a lot of dynamic experimentation in terms of the bracket system and what even All-Stars is and what it's doing. And I would love some sort of, season tournament where you kind of need to work in teams. And, maybe you're a team of 3, and you need to get your season to a point, and you need to nominate one of your 3 to be the finalist, and you'll still get a part of the package, but you want your season to be crowned the all-star season, and something like that would be really cool. So in terms of what I'd love to see from the show, who I would love to see back on the show, that's sort of what I would love to see. So if we could see the Toots all together, or something like that, and if we could see dynamic changes and experimentation on this bracket system, which was a lot of fun, but I think now that it's over, I'm going to be spending a lot of time digesting how it all went. Same with Agatha all along. Living that as a season was very different from how I feel now almost a year later. So we'll see, and we'll see where it goes from here.
I love that. TK, who's your bring back girl?
First off, I do want to say I love Kevo's idea. We talked about it a little bit a few weeks ago on the show, but I really love the idea of teams that have to sort of be sacrificing of themselves to say somebody else will probably win if we send them forth. I also think it'd be kind of fun to do it by houses. We do have so many queens who are aligned in various capacities, and I think that might be one interesting way to do it. I've got 2 on the list. Sherry Pie, of course. No, I'm kidding. But from that season, Miss Cox, If You're Nasty, of course, I think would be a real blast to have back. And then kind of fucking unspoken underdog. Have not heard from her in a long time. But I loved her on her season, and she's very talented and a very handsome man. Bring back Sugar Cane. Sugar Cane was great. Let's do it. So those are my 2 really big ones. But when all else fails, call Calorie Kardashian.
She's beautiful.
Beautiful. I love this. I'm so happy that this went so well. What a great episode. Jonah, what a great season. Until we come back to talk more Drag Race, more amazingness, more Drag Race draft, I'm sure we're going to play real soon. Where can everybody find you online?
You can find me online saying kudos mama for wearing that, to Angeria for looking absolutely stunning in her step-down gown. If you want to talk more about our love for Angeria, you can follow me places at Peak Jonah.
Love it so much. Tori, where can we find you online until, as we see in the chat, Relax the Talks makes their way back to the show?
Oh my god.
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
And I sure do love the guy in the box right below us. Kevo, you produce this show so good. You're so fabulous. You're so fantastic. Where can everybody find you on the interwebs?
Oh, speaking of fantastic, look forward to our coverage soon of things like Fantastic Four and Star Trek, in terms of things that we are excited to be covering now that we are going to be having this dearth of Drag Race to cover, but we'll see what there is to talk about. You can always find me posting something over on the socials at Kevo Really. That's KEVO
I love it so much. TK, other than doing everything on this channel with me, including our super cool Secret Saturday comic specials, where can everybody find you online?
You can find me at TK Accidental on your socials. What you got, big man?
NICO Action, NICOACTION, NICO Action Music, NICOACTION You guys can also check out all of the feeds of this show at Cage Club/X, Cage Club/HTML. That's X's for comics all over your social. That's X's for show all over your social. Like, comment, and subscribe, because we love you and we want to be able to I'm kidding. We want to be able to find out more about you. So get into our algorithm. But then 3 things you guys need to do for yourselves. Number 1, please stay safe. Number 2, please be brave. And number 3, evolve daily. Who you were yesterday, amazing. Who you are today, incredible. But it's who you are tomorrow that's the real dream. We can't wait to see you guys then. And until the Drag Race comes back into the picture, we're going to be covering, like Kevo said, some other stuff, and we're super stoked.
Bye!
Bye.